Hello everyone, in this session we are going to cover how to set up Nginx Ingress Controller with Let's Encrypt SSL. It includes cert-manager and TLS. So we are going to implement HTTPS on Nginx Ingress Controller. Here I have the Kubernetes cluster. Let's check the Kubernetes cluster. Command is kubectl get nodes. Here you can see that we have the one master node and one worker node. So let's start Kubernetes Nginx Ingress Controller with Let's Encrypt SSL. So here we have the steps. Okay. So first step is to install Helm 3 on Kubernetes cluster. So first we will set up the Nginx Ingress Controller. Then we will set up the Let's Encrypt. It includes cert-manager and TLS on Nginx Ingress Controller. So first, let's install Helm 3 on Kubernetes cluster using the curl. Then change the permission of Helm 3 script. Then let's install the Helm 3 on Kubernetes. Okay, here we have installed the Helm 3 on Kubernetes cluster. Let's check the Helm version. Command is helm space version. Here you can see that version 3.5.4 is installed on Kubernetes cluster. Next, let's install the Nginx Ingress Controller on Kubernetes cluster using Helm 3. So here you can go through the official Nginx Ingress document to install the latest Nginx Ingress Controller. Here we have the instruction to set up the different installation methods. So here we are selecting to install and configure Nginx Ingress Controller using Helm. Okay. Here you can visit the Helm official site and you can install latest Helm 3 and Nginx Ingress Controller. Okay. So let's, here we have the instruction. So first step, let's add the Helm repo of Nginx Ingress Controller. So command is Helm repo add. Let's give the ingress name Ingress Nginx, and this is the Nginx Ingress Helm repo. Helm Ingress Nginx is added using the Helm. Let's update the Helm repo. Command is Helm repo update. Next, let's install Nginx Ingress Controller on Kubernetes cluster. Here we are using the Kubernetes Corps cluster using Helm 3. Command is Helm install Ingress Nginx, and this is my Nginx Ingress Helm chart. Let's wait till installation is complete. So in the background, it is checking all the prerequisites. Now here you can see that Helm using the Helm 3 Nginx Ingress is installed and instruction is given name Ingress Nginx, and here Ingress Nginx Controller has been installed on Kubernetes cluster. Okay, or you can check the status by running this command: kubectl namespace default get services and Ingress Nginx Control. Here we have the instruction to create the Nginx resource where we add the microservices details in the Ingress resource. Okay. Here also to enable the TLS, here we have also instruction. So all the steps I have noted in my notepad. So let's check the Nginx Ingress Controller. Command is kubectl get services, and this is my control Nginx Ingress name, Ingress Nginx Controller. Here you can see that Nginx Ingress Controller is installed on Kubernetes cluster. Name is Ingress Nginx Controller. Type is a load balancer. It assigned internally cluster IP, and this is the AWS classic load balancer URL, and exports in 80 and 443. Also, it add the pods deployment services also. So let's check pods command is kubectl gets pods. So it created one pod Ingress Nginx Controller. Let's check deployment command is kubectl get deploy. So deployment is also there. Let's check service command is kubectl get svc. Here you can see that for Nginx Ingress Controller, it's created pod deployment service. Okay. Next step, for testing, let's create one sample Nginx deployment and service. Let's create the deployment and service YML for the Nginx app. Let's create a deployment YML. Paste this sample deployment for Nginx app. This is a deployment for Nginx app, and container we are using the Nginx. Let's save this deployment. Let's create a service to expose over the internet. Let's test this sample Kubernetes service for Nginx app. So deployment and service should match. So here we have identify labels and selectors using this name Nginx-app, target port 80 and source port also 80. Then let's deploy the deployment and service for Nginx app on Kubernetes cluster. Command is kubectl, you can use here apply or create -f and my deployment YML. Let's deploy the service for Nginx app. Let's create a Nginx resource for exposing app. Here, as per the instruction given by the Nginx Ingress, let's create the Nginx resource. Here you can see that kind is Ingress, name is Nginx Ingress, let's deploy in a default namespace. And here we have to add Ingress class. We are using the Nginx. Then let's add the microservices. Okay, so here we have added the microservice for Nginx app. This is my domain name for my microservices to access outside. Then this is my service name, port number 80, and default path is root. Let's save this Ingress resource. Let's deploy the Ingress resources with Nginx app microservice. Ingress resource is created with one microservices. Let's check the pods, whether it is created pod for the Nginx app. Pod is created. Let's check the deployment using kubectl. Command is kubectl get deploy. Deployment is created and in ready state. Let's check the service. Command is kubectl get svc, or you can use get services. Here services also created for the Nginx app. Let's check the Ingress. Command is kubectl get ingress. Here you can see that our ingress is Nginx Ingress, and we have added the for now Nginx app microservices. This is we are routing using the domain name based or name based routing. It assign the Nginx Ingress load balancer URL, that is AWS classic load balancer, expose on port 80. So here we can access all microservices for the same port. So let's point this load balancer URL to the domain name provider if you are already. So here I have the GoDaddy domain. So let's point this load balancer URL to the domain name provider. So here I have registered my root domain in the GoDaddy. Let's create a cname record. Here log into your domain name provider, type select cname, give the name, that is domain name is Nginx app. Then points the here we will add the load balancer URL, or we can say the Nginx Ingress Controller URL we have exposed using the load balancer. Set time 1 minute. Let's save this record. So we have exposed our microservices using the domain name on Nginx Ingress Controller on port 80. So now we can access our domain using the 80. Now it is accessing using the 80. So we have to convert into the HTTPS using let's encrypt SSL. So next step, we have to first to use the let's encrypt SSL for the Nginx Ingress Controller. First, we have to configure the cert-manager for the Nginx Ingress. So here we have the instruction. If you have the Kubernetes version, we have to check the version before applying the cert-manager on Nginx Ingress. Okay. For Kubernetes version less than 1.16, we have to use this cert-manager. So here we have the greater than 1.6 version. So let's use this. So command is kubectl apply. This is the official cert-manager YML for Ingress. Let's configure this cert-manager for Nginx Ingress. So cert-manager is configured. It created in the background of the cert-manager for the Ingress. Next, let's configure the Let's Encrypt for the Nginx Ingress Controller. So here, to configure the Kubernetes Ingress Controller Let's Encrypt, we have to install the Let's Encrypt issuer for the Nginx Ingress. So this is the official link. All the instruction is given on the cert-manager official site. So here are the different installation methods for the Nginx Ingress. So it is using the old one Helm chart. Here all the instruction is given. So you can visit for the cert-manager official site. So here I have noted down all the steps. So let's now create the Let's Encrypt issuer for the Nginx Ingress. Let's paste this issuer YML configuration. So here kind is cluster issuer. Here we are using the Let's Encrypt pod cluster issuer name. So there are different types. So here we are using the Let's Encrypt prod. Then this is a official server name where we get certificate registers and certificate issues from this official their site. Okay. So here we have to register add the email name. We can get notification for the renewal. Then solver, we have the HTTP 01. There are different types. Here we are using HTTP 01. Then we have to mention the for which ingress we have to use. They want to issue the Let's Encrypt SSL class is Nginx. Let's save this YML. Let's deploy Let's Encrypt issuer for the Nginx Ingress. Now we have deployed Let's Encrypt issuer, which issues the certificate for our microservices. Now let's create a Nginx Ingress Let's Encrypt TLS certificate for your microservices. So there are main 3 steps. First, it's a cert-manager to apply the cert-manager for your Nginx Ingress. Then we have to deploy the Let's Encrypt issuer. Then we have to create the Let's Encrypt TLS certificate for your microservice. Let's create a Let's Encrypt TLS for your microservice. So here I have the sample YML file to issue the TLS certificate. So we can visit official site for all the instruction. All the instruction I have given in the video description. Here API our cert-manager. This is a version of cert-manager. Then kind is certificate. Then here we have to add the domain name of to apply the TLS certificate namespace default. It will create the one secret TLS secret for your microservice. Then we are using letsencrypt port issuer. Then for this domain we are using this SSL TLS. This is my domain name. Let's save this. Let's apply TLS certificate YML. Now we have created the YML. So now it will take some time to issue the Let's Encrypt TLS certificate for your microservice on the Nginx Ingress. So let's check the certificate is created or not for your microservice. Command is kubectl get certificate and my microservice domain name. So here you can see that certificate is created. This is my name for which domain ready is true. If certificate is not generated, so here you can see the false. And it create the secrets. Let's check the secrets, TLS secrets for your microservice. Command is kubectl get secrets my TLS. Okay, here you can see that secrets also created for your microservice. Now we have to our microservice is actually using the HTTP port, that is 80 ports. Now we have to convert into the HTTPS. Okay. So now we have to edit our Ingress resource to add the cluster issuer to access our microservice on HTTPS. Okay. So let's edit the Ingress. So let's check the Ingress name. Command is kubectl get Ingress. My Ingress name is Nginx Ingress. To edit the Ingress, command is kubectl edit Ingress, my Ingress name. Here we have to modify the Ingress resource. We have to add the cluster issuer. So in the annotation section, add the cluster issuer details. Here we have the cert-manager cluster issuer. Let's encrypt prod. Then we have to add the TLS section for which microservice to apply. So here we have already generated the TLS and secrets for our microservices. Let's add this. So you have to check the indentation of this YML. So let's copy this behind the spec, below the spec. Here is here host, whatever your domain name, it apply the TLS certificate domain name, and you have to add the script name also. It is showing the for multiple microservices you have to generate the cert-manager and TLS, and here you will add the for which microservices you have to add the TLS. Let's save this Ingress resource space. there is indentation problem. Let's correct this. Let's save this. Let's solve this indentation problem. So we have edited the Ingress resource. Let's verify once. So here we have added the cert-manager and cluster issuer details and the host, and we have added the TLS section. Here we add the host names. Here we add the now we have added the one microservice Nginx app, my domain name and the secret name. Now it should access my domain name using the HTTPS using letsencrypt issuer. So here we have already gotten the domain name. So let's access my app using the HTTPS. So HTTPS. Okay. Now the certificate is applied. Let's encrypt. SSL is applied on the Nginx Ingress Controller. Now it is showing the connection is secure, and you can see that verified by Let's Encrypt. Here you will get all the encryption, all the details. So Let's Encrypt is applied to the microservices we have deployed on the Nginx Ingress Controller. All the steps I have mentioned in the video description.